The American Athletic Conference presents college baseball on a Friday night from downtown Birmingham. From Young Memorial Field, there is your matchup. It is the Rice Owls and the UAB Blazers. Yeah, good evening. Welcome in. Kurt Bloom along with you. It is game one of a three-game series. You got a pair of 5 and 10 teams right now struggling just to try to get from the right side of the screen to the left side of the screen. And to further demonstrate that, we'll take a look at the current conference standings, and there they are. UMB and Rice tied at 5 and 10, trying to move up a couple of notches before the conference tournament. UTSA, a team that came in here a couple weeks ago, they are solid at 12 and 3. South Florida and then Charlotte round out the top three, and then you got UAB and Rice at 5 and 10, a game better than Memphis and Wichita State. Game one of a three-game series from Young Memorial. The rain cost us about an hour or so, but field looks good, and we are ready to get rolling in about 2 to 3 minutes. We'll take a timeout. Back on the other side of this, we'll have the first pitch between UAB and Rice. There's right-hander Colin Daniel, who has a 4-4 record prior to tonight with an ERA of 4.37. He's made 10 starts in 59 2/3 innings. He's allowed 61 base hits, 49 strikeouts, only 12 walks. Last time out was against East Carolina here at Young Memorial, a 5-3 loss for the Blazers. And for Daniel, he went into the seventh inning, 6 1/3, allowed 4 runs on 7 hits to a really good team. He had 6 strikeouts, didn't walk anybody. Colin Daniel is 6'2", weighs 205, a junior from Corner, Alabama, and so highly thought of that he was the pitcher of the year, the preseason pitcher of the year in the American Athletic Conference. And you definitely see there are spots and times in at-bats when you can see the stuff. And this is mid-90s, great slider, changeup, really good competitor. They are the Rice Owls, 11 and 31 overall. They are 5 and 10, just like UAB in the conference. And the Owls, 11 and 31 overall, looking to win a road series. So scheduled originally for 5, about an hour 45 minutes late because of the inclement weather, but here we are about ready to start. And Iram Boca Chica, the starting second baseman, will lead off. 277 on the year for Rice with 3 home runs, 18 runs batted in. Ryan Hale behind home plate, the umpire, and the first pitch from Daniel is strike one called, and this series has gotten underway. Defensively for the Blazers, in the outfield left to right, Tyler Waugh, Logan Brownshway, and Camden Hayslip. Left side of the infield is Todd Clay and Gavin Lewis. A one-strike pitch. Now it's 0-2 on the right side of the Blazer defense. Alex Cheeseman and Wesley Helms. There's Nick Holyfield behind home plate, and Colin Daniel is on the mound. Nothing and 2 on the leadoff batter, Boca Chica. Left-handed batter, Blaine Brown on deck. Full classic windup. And the pitch hit on the ground softly for Alex Cheeseman. One easy out for Colin Daniel. Blaine Brown, the DH, at 322 with 7 homers, 31 RBIs. There's Cheeseman. Nice numbers for a freshman, by the way. Actually, that was Helms, wasn't it? Yeah, that was Helms. Anyway, Brown batting, DH. 0-1. A very, very young lineup for the Rice Owls. Listen to this. Freshman to start off. Sophomore, followed by a senior. 2 more sophomores, then a freshman. And the lineup rounds out with a senior. So they're trying to rebuild. At first base, Helms, the foot race won by Daniel. Here's the third consecutive freshman to bat in the inning. That's Michael Zito. He's the shortstop at 279 with a couple home runs and 14 runs batted in. Colin Daniel looking for 3 up, 3 down to open up his 11th start of the year. He'll start off with a strike. His 3 straight batters have fallen behind 0-1. Again, that classic windup. The glove actually hits the shoulder blades. Three-quarters delivery, but you'll see again that glove, the ball in there will hit the back of his shoulder blades. There. And then the delivery way outside with a slider. It used to be prototypical windup, but the evolution of baseball have changed. You see all kinds of windup now. A lot of it is condensed. Pitchers wanted to get away from moving parts. That's the end of the inning. A nasty slider. And a very strong inning for Colin Daniel. Our series is underway after a half inning. The Owls nothing and the Blazers are coming up. Right-hander Davion Hickson is 1-5 with a .483 earned run average. 6'2", 210 junior from Palmetto, Florida. It looks like we're getting a rain shower on Hickson. Preseason all-conference selection in the American Athletic. Last year a closer, this year in the rotation. You can see some rain falling down. Logan Brown-Schway will start things off for UAB at 327 with 6 homers and 26 runs batted in. So, strike thrown by Hickson. Hickson came out of the bullpen against Memphis last Thursday, a 10-5 win for Rice. Went 2 2/3, allowed a run on 3 hits. Went from the bullpen where he was a closer last year to most of this year a starter. 9 games, 7 starts. Brown-Schway singles through the left side. UAB with a base runner here in the last of the first inning. Brown-Schway enjoying an outstanding senior season. Here's Wesley Helms, the first baseman. Helms hitting .248 with a couple of home runs, 13 runs batted in. Brown-Schway can fly, by the way, at first base. Helms now 0-1. Hickson. This is up high. Brown-Schway, 21 out of 22 this year, stealing bases. And not only do you have a .300 hitter, a guy who could draw walks, and a guy who could steal bases. See him inching his lead a little bit more. He'll hold. Helms will take one in there. And that's a strike. Bottom of the first, nobody out. 1-2 on Helms with Brown-Schway aboard at first. Logan draws a throw. On Under the lights now, of course. The lights, because of the rain, have been on for a while. About an hour, approximately an hour and 45 minutes later start than we were scheduled. But even that can be argued because they pushed back to 6:45, and that's the 6:45. That's where we started tonight. If you just joined us, you think that we're deep into the ball game. We're just underway. Good look at Braunschweig wearing the oven mitt on his right hand. He makes some muffins when he's done. There he goes. Pitches inside. Throw goes on the left side of second. And a stolen base for Braunschweig. Eric Anderson behind home plate was off balance. His throw, lucky it found the second baseman. So Braunschweig now with 22 stolen bases, 23 attempts. Out towards right field. Rank is there, makes the catch. Braunschweig will tag. Here comes the throw, not in time. Whoa, Braunschweig overslid like it was a slippery slide there. So a productive at bat for Helms as he flies out to right. And he brings Braunschweig over to third base. Corner infielders will be in for the Owls. The middle guys are back. Todd Clay, .368 batting average with 5 home runs. He's driven in 38. .38 RBIs, looking for 39. Weak ground ball will get the run home. Executed well as Boca Chica throws out Clay, but UAB takes a 1-0 lead. You can see Clay gives himself up. Two things he wanted to do is put the ball on the right side and make sure the ball was on the ground. He accomplished both of them. Thanks to the wheels of Braunschweig, UAB with a 1-0 lead. Now here's Camden Hayslip. .228 batting average with 8 home runs and 37 knocked in. Now Clay with 39. Oh, 0-1, now 0-2. Looking for the final pitch of the inning, but not there with a 1-0, a 1-2 count rather. Inning over. High fastball gets Hayslip. However, UAB scores the first run of the series. Single by Braunschweig, he steals second, advances to third on a fly ball, scores on a ground out after 1-0. The Blazers in front of the Owls. So 5, 2, and 1 the scheduled start times. About an hour and 45 minutes late tonight. Here's Landon West to lead off for the Owls. .277, 2 home runs, 21 runs batted in. I believe that's 4 straight batters who are in an 0-1 hole, which will lead to a lot of success for Colin Daniel. There was a heavy ball and not easy to elevate That's a slider, hard slider that gets by West. Looking for the punch out. Hooked his slider a little bit too much. I thought Colin Daniel pitched better than his final numbers will indicate in his last outing against a very good ECU club. It was last Friday. Slider to second base, caught by Cheeseman before it hits the infield dirt. Another soft contact. That's Cheeseman. Yep. And his glove was on the dirt, so that was a clean catch. Daniel, last time out, it was a 1-1 game through 5. East Carolina scored 2 runs in the 6th inning. Eventually, ECU won 5-3, but after 5 against a very good club, it was a 1-1 score, and Daniel's holding his own. Trayton Rank showed bunt, and he falls behind 0-1. That's 5 straight batters who have had an 0-1 count. Rank at 273, 2 homers, 12 RBIs. Just missed inside did Colin Daniel. 2-1. Base is empty with 1 down in the second. Lewis, 2 outs. Another ground ball. That's 3 of the first 5 hitters who have hit the ball on the ground, which means that sinker is working from that guy right there. Bases cleared for the catcher. That's Eric Anderson. Sophomore hitting .293 with a couple of homers, 6 knocked in. And a look from our third base camera. He is the first batter did not fall behind 0-1. In the air towards Waugh. Here comes Tyler Waugh, and 3 up and 3 down. Owls down in order, 2 straight innings. And in the middle of the second inning, from downtown Birmingham, Alabama, 1-0 UAB in front. Davion Hickson gave up a run in the first inning. UAB will get their second look at Hickson. And it will be Nick Holifield, starting catcher at 273 with 3 homers, 25 runs batted in. During the rain delay, I was making the walk from the batter's cage to the press box and chatted with Holifield. Asked him if he wants to play pro ball. He said absolutely. And I asked him about playing here at UAB, and he said, I just love, it's a perfect fit for me. I love my manager, head coach Casey Dunn, Brandon Moore, the hitting instructor who's coaching at third. He said, this is the right spot for me. This is his 3rd year with the Blazers. And because of his defense, Holyfield, if he's hitting that 275 to 280, he will get attention from pro scouts. Here's Landon Beaver. Beaver had a breakout game and a breakout series against East Carolina with 2 home runs in one game. He's hitting 250 now with 2 home runs and 11 runs batted in. The home runs came on consecutive at-bats for Beaver. Talk about that young Rice lineup, and now you have Beaver, a freshman, Cheeseman, a sophomore on deck. JP Heads played a bunch recently for UAB. He's only a freshman, not playing tonight. I'm sure he'll get a start in this series, a 3-game set. 2 clubs that come in at 5-10 in the American Athletic Conference. UTSA still setting the pace. Beaver, eyes are focused. He's ready to try to do some damage. Goes opposite way. From Phoenix City, Alabama. Back-to-back seasons, he was the 7A, which is the highest level here in the state. The highest level is 7A, and he was back-to-back 7A hitter of the year. He's down on a breaking ball. Nice pitch and consecutive strikeouts. Total of 3 overall for Hickson. 2 here. Let's see if this is a slider or a changeup. Slider. Bases are cleared for Alex Cheeseman here in the bottom of the second. Cheeseman at 242, 7 RBIs. Plays up the middle at second with Lewis at short, one of the better DP combinations in all of D1. They have turned 37. At one point, a week ago, UAB led the nation in double plays turned. They're now in the top 5. Hitters count for Cheeseman. Tyler Waugh on deck. Right at the knees. Brian Hale umpired in the Southern League when I was there. His father was the longtime sheriff in Jefferson County. Mike Hale. Eric Anderson, the catcher, checking his wristband. Count is filled up on Cheeseman. Cheeseman spoils that pitch. See, we're talking about that classic windup by Colin Daniel. You'll see the difference. Less moving parts here for Hickson. It does not get the glove all the way back to the shoulders. There it is, up to the hands, or up to the face rather. Then turns and fires, and swing and a miss. And Hickson strikes out all three batters here in the bottom of the second inning. Through 2, 1-0 UAB in front of Rice. We'll be back. We play 2-1-0. UAB out in front as we move to the top of the third. Since Colin Daniel has been perfect in 2 innings, he will face 7, 8, and 9. Tobias Motley is first. Left fielder at 265 with 3 home runs, 12 runs batted in. And once again, Daniel jumps out in front. 0-1. Another freshman for the Owls. I beg your pardon, sophomore. Freshman on deck. Robson on deck, freshman, then the senior. Tobias Motley batting. Nice slider. Wow. And you see the depth on that slider. Second strikeout for Daniel. Both of them swinging, and both have filthy sliders. Now here's a freshman, Colin Robson, center fielder at 230 with 5 runs batted in. Nothing in 1 yet again. Daniel jumps ahead of the batter. It had a play foul left side. Redshirt freshman from Southlake, Texas. Started his career at Duke. Duke known, of course, for their basketball prowess, but they've had a lot of good baseball teams as well. That ACC, Clemson, Carolina, Duke, and Florida State. Two and two on Robson. And that one is lined towards center fielder Brown Schway. Drops in for a base hit. First hit of the game for the Owls goes to their freshman center fielder. And the pitch caught too much of the plate. 1 out, 1 on for the Owls. Tying run on base for Max Johnson. Third baseman is a senior. And he's scuffling so far 13 for 78 this year. That's a 167 batting average, but he does have 2 home runs. And that's the thing that changed in baseball a couple of years ago. Even guys with lower batting averages, they all have power. Somebody's going to hit a home run. There are no more 167 with no home runs. You've got 160. You might have 4 home runs, 5 home runs, but that's part of the evolution. Certainly, when you into analytics where guys are trying to lift the ball and worrying about launch angle. Strikeouts and home runs were high. And even in pro ball, I saw a lot of guys at the AA level with 180 batting averages, 170 batting averages, and still 4 home runs, 5 home runs. Count level at 1-1. Runner takes off. Pitch is swung and missed. Hollyfield to Cheeseman. Got him. Strong throw by Hollyfield. Let's take a look at it again. He's got the lead. Cheeseman makes the tag on the hip. I don't believe Rice will challenge. No, they won't. And now one pitch away from ending the inning, and this is probably where you get that slider on 1 and 2. Bases are cleared. Yep, as ordered, and that was a gimme. 3 strikeouts. 9 batters faced in 3 innings. A strong start for Colin Daniel. In the middle of third, it's a 1-0 lead for UAB. How about that? I mean, it looks like we got our paintbrush out there and went to work, but that's what it looked like. Not too long. Actually, that's what it looks like right now. Not too long ago. It was about 5 minutes. Tyler Wall will lead things off, and that picture was coming to you over the scoreboard in left center, where the sun has disappeared behind that scoreboard. Wall batting .229 with a couple of homers, 13 knocked in. 8-9-1 for UAB. Four straight strikeouts for Davion Hickson. This one put in play. The right fielder is Rank. Rank lost the hat, but made the catch. He might have been in trouble there for a couple of seconds. That twilight is a tough time to catch a fly ball. Gavin Lewis hitting .218, 16 runs batted in, a right-handed hitter. Plays the shortstop position, the left side of the infield. Popped out of play. 0-1. A 1 outside. One nothing, the Blazers in front of the Owls. UAB manufactured run in that first inning. A single by Braunschweig. Steals second. Helms, fly ball to right field. Braunschweig advanced to third, and then a ground out by Clay got the run in. I got a 3-1 count on Lewis with Braunschweig waiting on deck. Lewis with 3-1 count, 1 out, a native of New Orleans. Count filled up at 3-2. Two lays off, close. And that'll be a 1-out walk. Lewis is a threat to steal. $11 out of 16. Davion Hickson having trouble getting a cap over the do-rag, a la Marcus Stroman. 1 out, 1 on, and here's Braunschweig. He has singled and scored a run. Braunschweig came in at 327. Base hit bumped his average up 4 points. Senior is certainly playing at an all-conference level. And I would imagine he'll be looking for a summer invite to get more exposure. Going to square and bunt, and it's fouled, third base side. Braunschweig looking for a strong summer after this college baseball season and go up to the Cape or wherever else and try to catch the eyes of the scouts. He's got some tools. 300 batting average in this conference. He's got some home runs. He can run, and he can play center field. Ball and 2 strikes. He is from Alabaster, Alabama. That's one town below me. I'm in Pelham. He's in Alabaster. And that'll put him about 25 miles from the city. See the speed there beats out what would have been a double play. Ball wasn't hit hard enough. So you get the force out at second base. Wesley Helms fly to right. And again, it was productive at bat because Helms was able to bring Braunschweig over to third base where he would score on a ground out. Box score says that Helms was 0 for 1, but the real score tells you that he was 1 for 1 in situational hitting. Braunschweig on the move. Throw to second is not in time. He slides underneath the tag, so Braunschweig with his second stolen base of the game. Throw was starting to tail. Boca Chica really made an athletic play to save that and make it look closer than it should have been. But now a base hit by Helms could put UAB in front by 2. Popped him up and out of play. It's one thing that the players themselves have got to buy into the team concept and understand what a quality at bat that was by Helms. And the same thing for Clay. And that's not new in baseball, counting productive at-bats. I mean, in both dugouts for decades, it'll be written down that he advanced a runner. A breaking ball headed towards right field, cut off from shallow right by the second baseman, and Boca Chica saves a hit and a run, and that play will end the bottom of the third inning. UAB 1 and Rice nothing through a third of this ball game. Third of the way home with the middle 3 innings coming up at Young Memorial in the opening game of a 3-game series. UAB and Rice 1-0 UAB. Top of the lineup now for the Owls. They got a base runner in the third, but he was caught stealing. Boca Chica will lead things off, which means Daniel has faced the minimum 9 in his first 3 innings. He has started off. That's a strike. I don't have the stat in front of me, but this is the 10th batter. I think it's 9 out of 10. He's gone 0-1. Boca Chica is a freshman. And he's down 0-2. You go 0-1, 0-2. You are we're going to have a successful outing. I think I'm going to say at the low end of it, it's 7 out of 10, but I think it's closer to 9 out of 10 first pitch strikes. And then he's got that wipeout slider when he needs it. These are 4 strikeouts, 4 swinging strikeouts by Daniel, all on sliders. Take a look. See ya. No chance. That's a wipeout pitch. Blaine Brown will bat next. Second baseman Alex Cheeseman is going to play in the outfield. Change up. And now 1-1. Soft contact, early contact, or no contact. I mean, it's been a heck of a start for Colin Daniel. That one is ripped. And to the right fielder, Hayslip's glove. That is the best contact so far, but caught. 2 outs. That's the first ball that Bryce really has squared up. Brown squared that up to 110 mile an hour exit velo, but he found Camden Hayslip's glove. That follow through did not look good by Daniel, as if lower back or a cramp or something, but he seems to be okay. Might have just slipped. 2 outs, bases are cleared up. That is just missed, but you see the movement on that fastball. Trying for his 3rd perfect frame so far. Now he gets the bottom of the zone. 1 batter reached so far through 3 2/3 for the Owls. And a 2-1. Left field base hit. Michael Zito strokes a single to left. You see again, there's no carry on that heavy sinker.
First baseman, Landon West.
Landon West will be the hitter. Lined out to Cheeseman at second his first time up. Popped up on the first pitch. Helms in foul territory. And that's the end of the top of the 4th inning, so the Owls will strand a runner. West going after that first pitch. No runs, a single for the Owls. They'll strand the runner, and now in the middle of the 4th, Blazers 1 and the Owls nothing. Bottom of the 4th inning, a 1-0 lead for UAB. Todd Clay drove in the game's only run. Ground out to second, and if you remember seeing the at-bat, the 2 things he was trying to do, and he did both of them, and that is put the ball on the right side, but not just smoke one there, but guide it and try to hit it on the ground, and he did both of those things, which allowed the run to score. And just like Helms, Clay during the at-bat takes an 0 for 1, but you got to look inside the box score. And again, I was in a professional locker room for over 30 years, and in the early days, before managers were able to electronically send in everything, it would actually, they'd have a card at the end given to them by the hitting instructor, and it would record and always mention the productive at-bats, and the manager would call in to the minor leagues operation and say, okay, Clay, first at bat, 0 for 1, but advanced the runner and brought a runner in. And that's kind of stuff that they're looking for as Todd goes down on strikes. But it's a tough thing for the player to understand that he might have been during that at bat 0 for 1, but he absolutely did his job. And for a long time, the White Sox, that was something they were looking at over batting average. They were looking how guys did in situations that called for them to give themselves up and move runners over. The White Sox promoted some guys that maybe didn't have the pedigree or the batting average, but they were guys that made contact and guys that did the things that both Helms and Clay did in the first inning. And that was a slider and a swing and a miss by Hayslip. 6 strikeouts. And I believe all 6 of them, yep, all 6 are swinging.
Catcher, Nick Hollifield.
Right here is Nick Hollifield, the catcher. Struck out swinging his first time up. Native of Georgia. And we talk about this a lot. Casey Dunn, the head coach of UAB, was a catcher collegiately and 2 years as a pro, and he treats that position. It's a love-hate relationship, and I saw Nick kind of smile about it. He knows Casey's hard on him, but he knows that Casey's hard on him because he expects and wants to make this guy a star. Hollifield, a good leader, can carry the bat, can run. That's knuckled up in the air towards the shortstop, Zito. Zito makes a catch, and down go the Blazers in order. We played 4 innings at Young Memorial. We got a 1-0 lead, UAB in front. Colin Daniel right now with a shutout as we move to the 5th. 1-0 UAB in front. Not a lot of offense in the opening game of this 3-game set. 1-1-0 for UAB. 0-2-0 for the Rice Owls out of Houston. And Trayton Rank, the right fielder, will lead things off. Rank, ground ball to the shortstop, Lewis, 0 for 1. Slider that Rank didn't come close to. Again, as I said at the opening, you can see certain sequences of why Colin Daniel was voted as the preseason pitcher of the year in the American Athletic Conference. That's another wipeout slider, and it's to the right-handed batters. I mean, he could just tell them what's coming, and they're not coming close. Look at the depth and the break on that pitch. He has 5 swinging strikeouts, all on sliders. Eric Anderson, the catcher, fly to left his first time up. Another first pitch strike. Colin Daniel in some kind of groove there. Good changeup. Nice, by the way, their last game was against Memphis, and they got walloped Tuesday, 13-2. Out towards center field, Brownshway. Brownshway still and slows down and makes the catch, backpedaling. 2 outs. Eric Anderson squares up Daniel.
Left fielder, Tobias Motley.
Two outs, bases cleared. Here's Tobias Motley, the left fielder. Nothing in one. Rice only had 4 hits in that loss to loss to Memphis rather. In fact, they were run ruled as Memphis scored 3 runs in the 7th. A little bit easier play for Brownshway, and it's 3 up and 3 down. And we're halfway through tonight from Young Memorial. Middle of the 5th inning, UAB by a run. Yeah, beautiful sunset. Little wave of the flag. UAB by a run as we go to the home half of the 5th. UAB's last game was Tuesday, 9-5 loss at Jack State. Jack State scored 6 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Got an 8-1 lead and would win the game 9-5. Landon Beaver struck out his first time up. Todd Clay and Nick Hollyfield, or Camden Hayslip rather. Clay and Hayslip each had 2 hits in that game, but UAB had a rough 3rd inning and lost to Jack State. Third baseman Max Johnson. Foul territory, 1 away. And Jack State having a nice year, 24 and 17.
Second baseman, Alex Cheeseman.
Alex Cheeseman struck out his first time up. Davion Hickson, really a very encouraging start for the Owls. He's allowed 1 run on 1 hit, 6 swinging strikeouts, but trails by a score of 1-0. His last outing, as we mentioned, was in relief out of the pen against Memphis. One and one. Hickson spent a year at IMG Academy in Florida. And that helped him get to Florida State. And now here at Rice. And he's jumping ahead, 1 ball and 2 strikes. He let that hanging breaking ball stay in the hittable part of the zone, but caught out in center field. That was Cheeseman just missed. Hickson, as mentioned, preseason all AAC. From a closer to now in the rotation. Here's Tyler Waugh. A lot of damage in the ERA was done in 1 game against Tulane, against Hickson. His ERA is .483. Against Tulane, he gave up 7 runs in less than 5 innings. Otherwise, he's had a fairly competitive season. It only takes 1 bad one to blow up the ERA. Faced Mississippi State earlier in the year. Went 8 innings against East Carolina. His ERA prior to that blow up against Tulane was 3.48. Here's a 2-2. Davion Hickson. That's Waugh. Three and two. Change up, line foul. Yeah, last series I went over all my favorite number 4s. You see number 4 worn by Waugh. We'll save it maybe a next at bat is 2 outs and a full count. You're not going to start your all-time number 4s, but Waugh wearing my favorite jersey number, and he walks to first base with 2 outs. Brings up Gavin Lewis.
Shortstop, Gavin Lewis Jr.
Bottom of the 5th, UAB gets a 2-out base runner. Lewis walked and was wiped out on a fielder's choice. Well, that's a well-located pitch, fastball, some velocity on it, and right at the knees. Strike zone is, remember, the kneecap to the armpit. Throw one at the bottom of the zone, and again, one of the things that makes it such a good pitch is it's hard to elevate. What are you going to do against a pitch 92, 93 right at your knees? Unless you're a lefty and you put a serious launch angle on it. Count level 1-1 on Lewis. He takes a breaking ball for a strike. Hickson off the mound. Waugh is not a threat to run. He has 1 stolen base. The ball is, the pitch is up and in. Count level 2-2. And now it's not. That is the 7th swinging strikeout for Davion Hickson. He's pitching a gem as well. The Blazers will leave a runner. And at the end of 5 complete, we have a 1-0 lead, UAB over Rice. Colin Daniel dealing 5 shutout innings, 2 hits, both singles. 5 swinging strikeouts, all on sliders. And he has retired the Owls in order in 3 of 5. And he has faced the minimum 3 in 4 of the 5 innings. We have an old-fashioned 1970s circa pitcher's duel as UAB scored in the first, and neither team has scored since.
Leading off the Rice at 6th, center fielder Colin Robson.
Colin Robson has one of the 2 base hits for the Owls. Freshman singled with 1 out in the 3rd, and then was caught stealing second by a strong throw from Nick Hollyfield to Alex Cheeseman. And again, 0-1 starts the at-bat. One thing I got to do, I got to ask these guys in the press box. You see a 37. I wonder if that was for their 37 patch on their jerseys. Wayne Graham, that might have been his number. That's what I'm thinking. Graham, a long-time legendary coach for the Rice Owls, had them very, very competitive for such a long time. They might have fallen on hard times recently. That's another slider, swing and a miss. But they used to be as formidable as anybody in this game.
Third baseman.
Wayne Graham, legendary coach. In the early 2000s, they had 30 wins, 25, 25, 30, 28, 26, 24, 28, 23. These were home records, but I mean, you could tell they were just a fantastic team. Another slider. Those are home wins I talked about, not their overall. Call it Reckling Park, the house that Wayne Graham built. They wear a 37. Get our cameras maybe next time or maybe this bat, whatever, whenever, but they wear a 37 patch. You'll see it more on our first or third base camera. A 1-2 pitch. That's one slider that did not get by a Rice hitter. It was spoiled out of play to the right side. One and two count, and the pitch. Got him again. Just earmark that slider with 2 strikes, especially to the right-handed batters. 7 swinging strikeouts, and all 7 are on sliders.
Second baseman around Boca Chica.
2 out, space is empty for Boca Chica at the top of the lineup. He's 0 for 2. Dominating outing so far for both pitchers. Colin Daniel with the slimmest of 1-run leads. Out of play, foul right side. Wayne Graham, a long-time head coach of Rice, passed away last year. Won a World Series, did Rice. Won 5 junior college World Series, did Graham. Also was a major league ball player for both the Phillies and the Mets. Fly ball out towards left. Waugh on the move, and Waugh will get there and make the catch. 6 solid innings for Colin Daniel. Middle of the 6th inning, that UAB run early, standing up 1-0, the Blazers. Davion Hickson, he's just picked the wrong night to be this good. Trailing 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. UAB scored a run in the first. And, you know, this is something I don't think I've seen. There have been 14 strikeouts in this game, 7 each way, and each and every one of them have been swinging strikeouts. Top of the lineup, Logan Brownshway, who has scored the game's only run. Hickson has allowed 1 hit, 1 run, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Now, his strikeouts have come on a variety of pitches, but Colin Daniel, they have all come on sliders. And Brownshway is in an 0-2 hole. So back in the first, Brownshway against Hickson, singled to left and stole second. Went to third on a fly ball by Helms and scored on a ground out by Clay with the infield back. That hit by Brownshway, the only hit for UAB so far. We're in the bottom of the 6th. That's a little high. They're going to check. Brownshway did not go. And Brownshway, that one's an easier take. Rice has made a defensive change. They've got Cole Green in left field instead of Tobias Motley. Just missed. Brownshway backs away. He has run the count full. Such a good eye. So the count is rolling full. 2 walks issued by Hickson. He is trying to avoid his third. And he gets the swinging strikeout instead. That's his 8th. And we continue this incredible run now. A total of 15 strikeouts, every one of them tonight. The batter has gone down swinging. Wesley Helms is coming up at 0 for 2. Got an important at bat in that first inning. Waited for Brownshway to steal second. And then hit a fly ball to right that advanced Brownshway over to third. One out, bases cleared for Helms. Started his career at Auburn. Moved on to Shelton State Junior College for a couple of years. And now at UAB. Time is called. Helms got some revenge against against Auburn for UAB. Game that was played at Regents Field. He had a walk-off game-winning hit. We have a mound visit coming up. Pitch calm, that seems to be the issue. Davion Hickson having problems with the communication, so time called. 2-1 count, 1 out, breaks the momentum, little pause. And he's had issues with that throughout the game. So a hitter's count for Helms. 2-2. Hickson trying to keep his team close. 1-0 UAB in the last of the 6th. Belted into left field for a base hit. Helms with UAB's second hit of the night. That's it. And it comes with 1 out in the 6th. Todd Clay ground out, brought in a run and a swinging strikeout. Came in batting a robust .368. Helms not a threat to steal. Nothing at 2 now on Clay. Lefty Hayslip is on deck. Although 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts, he does possess home run power. Pick at first, a little lob. Clay to short, that should be 2. Here's Boca Chica to finish out the double play. And again, there's nothing wrong with Hickson in what he's done tonight. He just picked the wrong night because Colin Daniel is 1 run better. 1-0 the Blazers through 6. Wesley Helms. And there's Colin Daniel. Where are those guys going? Camera was all set. Now we got a trio. And then there's Daniel. He looks like, if you're a wrestling fan, look at Colin Daniel, especially with the beard and mustache, a shorter version of Braun Strowman. Took me a game or two to get me a comp, but the facial resemblance to WWE wrestler Braun Strowman. Blaine Brown is batting with the Blazers by 1. I confirmed, and we'll get a look at the patch. We got all 3 games here, but the patch that Rice is wearing is in memory of their longtime head coach, Wayne Graham, who passed away in September. 37 was his number. Took Rice all the way to the, and won a national championship. They were known when I first broke into pro ball. Rice was known for their pitching. They would annually have some guys in the rotation and out of the bullpen that were studs and high round picks. A 1-2. Another swinging strikeout. That's 8. I don't know if that was a slider or the change. And for some reason, Daniel doesn't like that baseball, but that baseball had a lot of movement in it. That had the swinging strike. He's had 8 swinging strikeouts. In fact, the 2 pitchers, they've done something I don't think I've seen. 16 strikeouts combined, and every one of them have been swinging strikeouts. And you hear scouts all the time talking about Does he have swing and miss stuff? Does he have a pitch that they can't make contact on? Well, 16 times these two teams have combined, and not one time did the guy get caught looking. Looked like a backdoor slider. Michael Zito's got one of the two singles. Freshman shortstop. And a 1-0 lead. Camden Hayslip. He's got room prior to the warning track. Colin Daniel, 6 2/3 right now.
First baseman, Landon West.
Landon West is 0 for 2. Try for another perfect inning. This one slider that missed, not by much. 4 perfect innings so far. Chance for the 5th. Basic baseball tonight from Colin Daniel. First pitch strikes and first batter out. Trying to go 7 shutout innings. Here's a 2-0. He hasn't walked anybody. It's 2-1. His longest outing is 7. He's done that once. Fisted out of play. April 12th at Tulane, 7 innings. Look for the slider. Stayed with fastball that time. Count level at 2. So 7 innings is his longest. You tie his longest outing of the year, getting the out here. And the slider that just missed. And a good hold by Landon West. I think he backs it up with another slider. That would be a guess. Fastball there. Count remains full. Daniel has not walked anybody. Got him, strike 3 called. Fastball instead of the slider. So that's the first caught looking. It's also the 9th strikeout. And we have reached the stretch break here in downtown Birmingham on the campus of the UAB Blazers, where UAB leads Rice 1-0. Going into the bottom of the 7th inning, Davion Hickson has thrown 93 pitches. He's faced 21 batters. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned. 8 strikeouts, 2 walks, and he is still out there. Trying to keep his team in the game as Hayslip will bat. And we always say this, that the best bullpen is a great start. The longer Hickson can go, the easier time it will be for the bullpen. Hayslip with a pair of swinging strikeouts. That was at the top of the zone. He offered at it. Game's only run came in the first. If you just tuned us in, we're at the bottom of the seventh. The run scored in the first. Brown Shui a single and a stolen base, advanced to third on a fly ball, scored on a ground ball to second. That is it. 1-1 my way. 1-2. Both teams struggling 5-10 in the conference. And both teams getting outstanding starting pitching today. Both teams would love to avoid their bullpen as long as they can, because these starters have been fantastic tonight. Hickson now 6 1/3. And here is Hollyfield, the catcher who is 0 for 2. So Hickson during this at bat most likely will reach his 100th pitch of the night. So he's probably near the end, and you can see some light tossing in that Rice bullpen. With his stuff tonight, hard to imagine he's only got one win. Hollyfield is out on a line drive that knuckled out to center. So the first pitch to Beaver will be the 100th for Davion Hickson. Pitch number 100 was a ball. Beaver hitless, but again, UAB only has 2 singles, a Brown Shui single and a Helm single. Key is who hasn't struck out. Now we got a mound visit during the at-bat, a 2-0 count during the at-bat. Right-handed hitter Cheeseman on deck. Beaver with a 2-0 count. Reminding Hickson that in the last series, Beaver hit home runs in consecutive at-bats. So last thing you want to do is just give him a cookie right down the middle. There's that 37 again. Explore that later on in the series. Here's a 2-0. 2-1 with a 37 patch worn by the Rice players in honor of their late great coach, passed in September. 2-1. Make it 3-1. So righty on deck. Probably, that's just a guess. Probably keeps him in. But a guess. He's over 100 pitches now. 3-1 to Beaver. Now it's 3-2. Again, Rice would love to finish this 7th inning out for Hickson. Money pitch due up, time called. On that night where you're getting a good start, you want to ride as long as you can with Hickson. Again, he's over 100 pitches now. Still might be your best option. A 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And he records his 9th swinging strikeout. How does this guy have only 1 win all year long? Blazers go down in order after 7. UAB 1 and Rice nothing. A 1-0 lead for UAB as we head to the 8th, and Colin Daniel has only thrown 69. You talk about economical. He has allowed 2 hits. He has 9 strikeouts, 8 swinging, and 0 walks, and what is probably his best outing as a pro. And he starts a slider to rink, and it's 0-1. So his longest outing was 7. He needs to get 1 batter to have his longest outing. Another slider, 0-2. And again, there are, I've said this a few times, games and moments where Daniel will show you why he was the preseason pitcher of the year. Overall 4-4 with a 4.37. 0-2. Missed. Last time out against a very good ECU team, he kept it 1-1 through 5, but eventually gave up a total of 4 runs. Tagged with the loss. A 1-2 slider that just missed. He entered this inning with just 79 pitches, which is extremely low. Two. Swing and a miss. Yes, the slider again. 10 punch outs, 9 swinging. So that's his longest outing. And I'm thinking that this is his best outing of his college career right now. He'd be hard-pressed to have one better. 1 out in the 8th. And a chance. This one's out to left field, and it's playable and caught. He's got a chance to go the distance. He's 4 outs away. And now Cole Green still under 90 pitches.
Left fielder, number 2, Cole Green.
Green will get his first at bat. Came in for Tobias Motley. Well, Daniel has a 9-inning game. He has a CG last year against North Alabama. Strikeout high is 11, and he's at 10 right now. Slider swung on and missed. And with all due respect, I think this one is right now shaping up to be even more impressive than the game against UNA. This is a conference battle and a team with a legacy name to it. So this would be for his career high 11th strikeout. He gets a foul ball instead. In fact, who was that 11 strikeout game against? It was against Rice last year. He has struck out 21 Rice Owls in 2 games. And you can think the slider is coming. There it is. There's contact to Lewis at short. Pumps once. It's going to be close now and safe to call. It'll be an infield single for Cole Green. We'll watch it again. You see that pump fake right there just to get a better grip. Green runs well. That's the 3rd single for the Owls. All right, so technically, well, not technically, but the longest game, he does have a complete game against North Alabama last year, a strikeout high of 11. 6 times he's pitched without allowing a run. That's a changeup for a strike. But when you factor in a conference game and a game against, although Rice is struggling this year, they've got the legacy, they got the name, they got the blueprints in a World Series years ago. To this moment, and especially because you add in the fact that how economical he's been. He has not reached 90 pitches yet. Robson batting. He's 1 for 2. There is the 90th pitch. Chopped to the third baseman, Clay, and it will be another shutout inning, and that's 8 shutout frames for Colin Daniel. No runs on a hit, and the runner stranded. Bottom of the 8th, UAB coming up, leading 1-0. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and both starters have just been fantastic, nothing short of spectacular. The difference in this game is UAB coming up to bat here. They scored in the bottom of the first, a single, a stolen base, a fly ball, and a ground out. That was it. If Brown-Schway doesn't steal second, and UAB not able, this is a 0-0 game, UAB would not have been able to score a run. And of the combined 5 hits, all 5 are singles. And for the Blazers, bottom third of the lineup against Hickson. And basically, again, the best bullpen is a start. Easiest way to look at baseball. And confidence right now in Hickson. Hickson is a better option than the bullpen. And I get it. UAB's got Cheeseman, Wall, and Lewis, bottom third of the lineup. No breathing room for either pitcher. There's strike 3. Another strikeout, number 10 now for Hickson. He gets one looking. That's his first non-swinging strikeout. Here's Tyler Wall, fly ball to right and a walk. That one's up high on Wall. And we always do this, and that is look at who's coming up. And it'll be 9-1-2 due up for Rice in right now a 1-0 game. Wall takes outside 2-0. Two and one. What a pitcher's duel we've had here today at Young Memorial. Game that started an hour and 45 minutes late due to the rain. There's been one run rather came in the bottom of the first. And UAB used a single, a bag, stolen base, fly ball, and a ground out. I mean, it wasn't exactly a 440-foot home run. 2-2, Waugh. High chopper to the shortstop. Can he beat this one out? Yes, he can. No, he can't. Take that back. No challenge. My angle showed me he had beaten it out, but my angle was wrong. Gavin Lewis, the hitter. Bases cleared with 2 outs. Lewis has walked and struck out. Five singles in the game. 3 for the Owls, 2 for the Blazers. That one's lined sharply to left field, and that might be the first extra base hit. Well, Lewis will stop at first. A 2-out single by Lewis. 3rd hit for UAB. Wide turn, but he goes back. Here's Logan Braunschweig. He has scored the game's only run. Davion Hickson now with 117 pitches in. You would not see that in the pro game, but again, they pitch once a week. It's a little bit different. And he's obviously a better option. There is activity in the Rice bullpen. See if Lewis is on the run at some point. 1-0 UAB. The pitch. And away. Ten strikeouts for Hickson. He's walked only 2. Hitter's count for Braunschweig. And a 3-1 count. Now, Helms on deck, a righty in the bullpen. You would think, I'm guessing if he misses to Braunschweig that this would be a pitching change. And there's ball 4, UAB, 2 outs, 2 on, bottom of the 8th. The Blazers with a 1-0 lead, and we'll see if the decision is to keep Hickson in, who has pitched extremely well. Or do you go to the bullpen and bring in a fresh righty? Here comes the mound visit we talked about. He's at 122 pitches right now. And the look on his face is that he's going to have to give up the baseball. Two outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. A single sharply hit by Lewis. Braunschweig always drives you crazy. He walks. Braunschweig has been on base 3 times tonight in a 1-0 game that shows you how good he is. Single, fielder's choice, strikeout, walk. Brian Hale asking, what do you want to do? And you can see the fist bumps, and that means a pitching change. And for Davion Hickson, he threw extremely well, 7 2/3. He allowed 3 singles, 1 run. Now, the runner at first and second, they belong to him, but the bottom line is he's pitching a game in which he's trailing 1-0 when he leaves. So, from Young Memorial, we'll take a timeout. We'll tell you who the new pitcher is when we come back. Here's the new Rice pitcher. He's become their most reliable guy out of the bullpen. Right-hander Jack Ben Shoshan. A 1-2 record, 16 games, ERA 3.18. Leads the team with 2 saves, 28 and a third, 21 hits, 36 strikeouts, 15 walks. Pretty good chance they call him JBS. Jack Ben Shoshan. He says, I got one more warm-up. Yeah, we talk about this a lot again. It's almost anticlimactic in a sense because of the way that Daniel is pitching. And it's not, can UAB add some insurance, but it's, can UAB, whether it's Daniel in the bullpen, get the final 3 outs before the Owls score a run? Stepping in is Wesley Helms, who is 1 for 3 with a single in the 6th. Lewis and Braunschweig, very good speed on the bases. Ben Shoshan, the relief pitcher. Inside move. One nothing lead for UAB. 2 outs. That's across the plate. Runners still hold, and the pitch is in there for a strike 2. Two strike count, Helms with 2 on. They have not advanced in the borderline ball right there. Runners have not shown that they're on the move. They'll stay. That's lifted out of play down the left field line. Sliding attempt by Cole Green. Comes up empty. Mildly surprised, especially with the 2 guys on base, that they have not attempted a double steal. Just stayed alive, did Helms. Ben Shoshan looks over at second. That's a ground ball up the middle. It gets through for a base hit and a run batted in as Lewis will score. Braunschweig will hold up at third. And a single by Helms makes this a 2-0 UAB lead and a little breathing space now for Daniel. The run will be charged to Hickson. Wonderful at bat for Wesley Helms. Remember, he had a ball and 2 strikes, just stayed alive a couple of times. And he just stayed through it, went right up the middle. There's Todd Clay. Run home, and the Blazers up by 2. First and third for UAB. 0-1 to Clay. Clay, the most dangerous hitter in the lineup. .39th RBI, is first time up, still hitless. A 1-1 driven into right field for an RBI base hit. Roundtree will score. And back-to-back singles here in the bottom of the 8th inning, which now officially closes the line on Hickson. Jack, that's a good look at Hickson over there, depressed. And we said a great start helps get a better bullpen in there. And he gave his team a chance. Now 2 big 2-out RBI singles, and the Blazers have a 3-0 lead. Todd Clay, RBI single. He stays up the middle. Hickson wanted to, obviously he wanted to try to finish this himself. If he's going to give up the runs, he'd rather do it by himself. Well, he will now be charged with 3 runs in 7 2/3. And now we have a total of 8 hits in the game by both teams, all singles, 8 singles. Hayslip had a home run cut. And now some breathing space, even more for Colin Daniel, who most likely gets the 9th, talking about a good bullpen, a great start. I mean, he's your best option. 1-2, Hayslip takes low. Hayslip with a 2-2 count. And a little number back to the pitcher. Ben Choson has it and throws on for the out, but he gave up 2 big RBI 2-out singles. And now Colin Daniel will go to the top of the 9th inning with a shutout and a complete game on the line. 3-0 the Blazers. 10 strikeouts. All right, he's thrown 91 pitches. Now searching for a complete game shutout, Colin Daniel. 9-1-2 for the Owls. Not only the 10 strikeouts, but no walks. He has allowed 3 singles, 3 separate innings, and the most batters in any inning against Daniel is 4.
Leading off the Rice 9th inning, pinch hitter number 17, Braden West.
Max Johnson, the starting 3rd baseman, due up. And instead it'll be a pinch hitter. Braden West, a right-hander. 1-0 on West. One and one. .326 batting average with a home run, 5 RBIs, 19 games, 12 starts, and now a shot off of his shin that will slow him down. The count's going to be 1-1 on the pinch hitter. Let's see if we can pinpoint exactly where. It's like above the right knee. Around the quad area. Now that trainer is laughing, or I should say smiling, not laughing, but smiling. And I wonder if it actually was a little slightly higher than the quad. If you catch my drift, and if a trainer is smiling, it's an inside baseball joke. Look, now that's a complete. Yeah, okay. It got him above the right quad, a little closer to the middle. We keep this a PG broadcast. Well, look, the trainer's the one that let us know really where it got him. So don't blame me. I obviously cannot take the heat for this one. Trainer is smiling, and that lets us know everybody knows where exactly it hit him. Our replay showed just real quickly looked like the right quad, but it might have been a little bit higher. Yeah, well, look at his teammates there. There are a bunch of other dudes on that team. She's giving him all the time in the world to kind of walk it off. Well, most of us here in the press box, no, but not all of us. Most of us know that pain. And I'm sure the female trainer will hear it from the guys. Graydon West, so he'll be singing a little higher note by the end of this at bat. Daniel finally pitches, 1-2 now. Ball and 2 strikes. Daniel. There's a slider that missed low. His career high in strikeouts is 11 against Rice last year. Trying to do it again. The 2-2. Slider, see ya. That's called strike 3. And that's his career tying 11th strikeout against the same team. That's 22 punch outs in 2 games against the Owls for Daniel over a 2 years period. Top of the lineup, Iram Boca Chica. Boca Chica hitless in 3 at-bats and falls behind 0-1. And really, that has been the theme all night long, from the first pitch to what is amounting closely to the last pitch. They all have been 0-1, these hitters. And a vicious slider swung on and missed. Refreshing as much as I can. It looks like 96 pitches, so still less than 100. We got 98. We'll call it 98. 2 shy of the century mark. In just an unflappable performance. Almost wasted that slider because he's got a lot more in the tank if needed. Try to go the distance as he did last March against North Alabama, the 1-2 outside, 2-2. And again, another awkward follow through by Daniel. It's his second time he has had a very awkward landing. Look for the slider on 2-2. Slider that hung a little bit, fouled off. Just a Picasso painting by Colin Daniels so far. 11 strikeouts, no walks, 3 singles. Try to improve to 5-4. Just missed, full count. Seeing what Hollyfield and Daniel decide on when they go back to the slider. Polish him with a fastball, try to beat him with a fastball. Now the backdoor slider got him, called strike 3. Man, that's his career best 12th strikeout. Watch it. Came back just enough on the inside corner. And now Blaine Brown stands in the way of a 3-hit complete game shutout. The most strikeouts ever in a game in college ball for Colin Daniel. He's gotten that. Had a complete game against North Alabama March 3rd last year. And I think when you factor in the high strikeouts and the 0 walks, it just shows you how dominant he's been. And now 2 strikes away. And I would think that Colin Daniel will tell you that this is his finest outing as a member of the UAB Blazers. It's his 3rd year with UAB, and I don't think he's throwing a better game than this one. Just below the knees, 2-1. Be hard-pressed to find a game. He's just climbed over 100 pitches. That's another thing about it. He's very, very efficient tonight. Here's a 2-1. Now 2-2. He could be getting ready for the last pitch of the game. Game 1 of 3. We'll be doing it again tomorrow at 2. On the air at 1:55. The 2-2 for the finale. Got him. Strike 3. End of the ball game and end of the masterpiece. 13 punch-outs, including all 3 here in the top half of the 9th inning to complete an absolute gem. 3-0 UAB over Rice in the series opener. And the guy right there, 45, is the reason why. And he was vintage tonight, showed that whoever voted for him for the conference pitcher of the year, that they were right. For one night, a knight in shining armor for Colin Daniel. Glove on top of the hat, a big smile from the Braun Strowman look-alike. Not a lot of offense. You see just a couple of base hits, and there's your final. 3-0. UAB shuts out Rice in the series opener. So for our entire Down in Front production crew, this is Kurt Bloom, CB, saying so long from Young Memorial with the final score. UAB 3, Rice 0. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.